of my favorite quotes in life is that great Teddy Roosevelt quote, do what you can with what you have, where you are, right? I mean, it's talking about life, but it's really about farming.
Yeah, you got two hands, you got 2 feet, and and you've got opportunity, you know? My grandfather walked on this same soil, you know, and farmed it.
I mean, listen to the birds, the sound, the chirping. What was it like to grow up here in the farm like this?
You know, you go to a conventional farm, you don't hear that because everything's sterile.
Yeah, the sounds of
We
nature.
get in the orchard, you're going to hear crickets.
Yeah.
We were like a working economic unit. We're a family.
Yeah.
And we worked hard. We started early, and it felt like I needed to be doing my part, you know, to make the family function.
I mean, I think that's a real key word when it comes to family. I mean, you think about the generations of family that have been here, your family. How important is that to you?
It's really something people can't explain if they haven't lived it. So like your great-grandfather came from Sweden and had this farm, and the successive generations have taken it through wars and depressions, and they hand the ball to you. To fail isn't an option, whatever it takes. If it's 18 hours every day, you do it because you feel that weight of needing to pass the farm to the next generation.
How long have you felt that? Because I know you've been part of the farming operation since you were 5 years old, I believe, working out here on the farm. And how long has that passion for success been with you when it comes to the farming business?
You know, I knew I wanted to farm before I graduated from high school. I'm at Fresno State, it's my junior year, and Dad gets cancer. And 7 months from diagnosis till he passed. And so here I am, you know, little old Vern on our little farm, and I got to figure it out. And I've got a mom and brothers, and everybody's kind of looking to me. So it's a challenge.
You know, one of the things that's really amazing about you is that you live on the principle of family, but that family's extended for you. It goes beyond your immediate family to the workers, to the pickers, to the packers. I mean, they're all part of, it seems to me, the part of your larger family, and the way you treat them is really incredible.
If you think about the 100 year-round employees and then their families, it's pretty serious. For those 100 families, this is it.
Yeah.
You know, and you want to have a safe place to work, a profitable place to work, a respectful place to work, and a place where you feel like your contribution is changing the world.
We forget about the higher good of food, right? I mean, you are doing a higher good, and you're growing a product that people enjoy really all over the world. I mean, how does that make you feel?
Yeah. I think about that all the time. I think about the families sitting around a table enjoying a meal. I just see that what we do brings families together. Feel that. That is the best soil in the world right there.
Gosh, isn't it?
That's a silt loam. The Kings River deposited this millennia ago.
Wow.
And,
wow.
And that's what makes this area the locale for stone fruit. So the Napa Valley is the locale for wine.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Kingsburg is the locale.
Yeah.
Kingsburg, Reedley, Dinuba is the locale for stone fruit.
Yeah,
it's
very
deep, well-drained, fertile soil in an environment that's dry in the summer cold enough in the winter. We're one of only 4 or 5 microclimates like this in the world.
Wow,
You
it's
call
amazing.
it a Mediterranean
Yeah,
climate.
it mimics the Mediterranean, right?
It does.
Interesting.
It does.
Tell me a little bit about where Central California is in terms of the organic universe. I mean, where do we stand in Central California as it relates to organics?
Yeah, well, realize that 25% of America's food, the dollar value, comes from California. 40% of its organic comes from California.
It's the organic epicenter.
This is it.
Wow.
This is it.
Tell me a little bit about the growing process of what it takes to get a piece of stone fruit to market. What's that cycle like?
So, you know, organic is a whole different philosophy. For farmers, conventional farmers coming into organic, I used to do it like this, now I'm gonna be organic. What's the replacement for this? There isn't one. The whole thing about organic is it's proactive. I call it a biological system. And it's all about life. How do you encourage life, and how do you encourage positive life, and how do you discourage negative life? That's really what organic farming is.
Interesting.
And it's the most exciting part of agriculture right now. It doesn't matter if you're a conventional or an organic farmer. All of the research right now going on is how do we turn on a plant's ability, its own ability to fight off pests. You know, it all starts with the soil, and you build up that life.
Yeah.
That life supports the tree, makes the fruit. Healthy soil makes healthy fruit.
From seed to market, how does that all come together?
So real quick to walk you through a year in an orchard. In the fall, we'll apply manure from our chickens. We get that fertility incorporated in, and it has all winter to break down and be ready for next year's crop. We'll also apply things like gypsum and lime and phosphorus and, you know, all the minerals that crop is going to need. So that's in the fall. All winter we're pruning. Pruning makes the whole year, and pruning is art. So you're removing typically 2/3 of this year's growth from the tree. You're leaving the most fruitful third, and you're leaving it in a separated way so that these branches aren't on top of these branches. You're separating everything out. At the end of the day, what are we selling? We're selling sunshine.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about the history of Peterson Farms. You've been around for a long, long time.
Yeah. It depends on your perspective, I suppose. Yeah, but we've got sixth generation just being born. 2 new grandchildren in the last 6 weeks. So, you know, the whole point of everything is to have this farm, this operation, viable economically, have it being an enjoyable place to work, a place where you want to come to work. To be able, the whole point is to pass this on to the next generation so they can pass it to the one after that.
Yeah. How many different varieties of fruit do you grow here on Peterson Farms?
Oh, 150 varieties, but the main thing is alliances. Alliances. We have 80 different little farmers like me, all working together, bringing in the crop. Ain't none of us smart as all of us.
Yeah.
You know?
You're
and
stronger
so
together.
all of us together can do something that none of us could do as individuals.
Right.
We've all got to work together, and we can accomplish so much more than any of us could otherwise. What most people don't understand is a given stone fruit variety is only good for a week. So we're going to pick those nectarines. We're going to start tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. The following Wednesday we'll probably be done. and we'll be on to the next variety. So for me to have nectarines, for instance, from the 1st of May to the end of September, I have to have that many different varieties.
Oh, wow.
And so you have that many varieties of yellow nectarines, that many varieties of white nectarines. But our whole deal is to have a symphony of fruit every week for lots of reasons. First is for our workers. We can't have a lot of work this week and no work next week. Second is for our customers. We can't just have peaches this week and no peaches next week.
The fruit that you're actually picking in the field, how much of that gets to market and the distinction of the varieties?
Yeah, that can vary between 15 and 30% ends up being called out. There's seldom more than 2 or 3% of the fruit that you wouldn't eat. It's got some decay or some issue like that. Usually it's a cosmetic thing, which doesn't affect the flavor at all.
What happens to you, Vern, when you wake up in the morning and you walk out to this and all I hear is these sounds, sounds of nature, the birds chirping, the crickets. So what's that like for you?
It's a blessing and it's a responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, you want to take that and you want to give it as a gift to the world, because really these nectarines we're going to see, or peaches we're going to pick, it's our gift. It's dessert. We get to grow dessert.
I think about all your accomplishments as a farmer, and I think, what would your dad say about where you are as a farming business?
Oh, I think about that a lot. I think he would be really proud. I think he'd love to see his grandkids and, well, great grandkids, you know, for goodness sake. So, yeah, that's a shame. He was 48. Anyway, yeah, I think he'd be proud. It's all about relationships. It's all about just everybody working together. And the team we're working with grasps that.
Ramon and I talk every morning. I mean, every morning. He is more important to me than just about anybody else. These guys are more important than I am. Without them, I can't do what I can do for Vernon and Homegrown. The way the tree is shaped, Ramon and the team, they make that decision back in December and January. And so he is determining how much fruit is going to be on this tree back then. Ramon comes through here and he has a formula of how much fruit he's going to leave, the spacing. So when he comes back here in about 60 days, when he wants to start picking fruit, he already knows how he left it and what he's expecting.
This hanger, this is the old one. Next year, I cut it up here and leave that one, the new one, because the best fruit is in the new hangers.
And there is a science that when you're pruning, you can already take a look at the fruit wood and you can determine what's going to be fruit wood or what's going to be leaf. So he's already in his mind already setting up for next year.
Hey.
Pues trabajar como familia, sí te podría decir, como no familia, no tengo mucha experiencia. La familia es muy bonito, todos nos llevamos bien, todos los que trabajamos aquí. No es muy difícil, porque ya normalmente todos sabemos lo que vamos a hacer y siempre hay armonía en la compañía, no es muy difícil.
My boss, Vernon, all the time say, I want to see everybody work like family, like brothers, sisters, mothers, and fathers. Respect everybody.
Ramón, estamos aquí en un campo de durazno. ¿Qué pasa aquí? ¿Qué están haciendo ahorita?
Piscando. Estamos en tiempo de cosecha ahorita.
Y tienes pequeños árboles y grande fruta, ese que quieres aquí en un campo, ¿qué no?
Es lo que queremos, es lo que buscamos. Primeramente, buscamos el volumen, pero la calidad también.
¿Y cuántos trabajadores tienes aquí?
20 personas y un jefe de cuadrilla.
20 personas para todos estos árboles. ¿Y cuándo van a terminar?
Les toma un tiempo de 5 o 6 horas para terminar este campo.
¿Y cuántos árboles tienes aquí?
Son fuera 4 acres, vienen siendo 700 árboles.
Tienen todo aquí, los tots y los cajas.
Los tots, sí.
Me va a dar uno aquí.
Ahorita te voy a dar a uno para que piscas, aprendas a piscar.
Me enseña, maestro.
Este va así.
Dentro.
Sí.
Acá, chiquito.
Le podemos dar más grande.
Ya, soy gordo.
Uno más gordo.
Voy a hacerlo acá.
Chano, quítatelo, Chano.
Chano, gordito.
Chano, préstame tu terante, por favor.
Necesito uno que es gordito.
Ahorita la va a llenar. Ok, esto va aquí.
Sí. ¿Y aquí?
No, al revés.
Oh, otro lado.
Así.
Pues
Ok. Buscamos siempre el color.
El color.
El color, el tamaño.
Este es no.
Este está verde. Este está verde.
Eso quiere que tiene mucho color.
Que tenga mucho color y grande.
Ok.
La mejor fruta
Solo arriba.
arriba y aquí en las puntas. Mira.
Aquí.
Esta está muy buena.
Sí.
Esa. Ay. Todo ese arriba está bueno. E irlo a batear todo este.
Estos aquí.
Esos están buenos,
Sí.
ese está bueno. Este aquí de arriba.
Sí.
Todos esos están buenos.
Yeah. This is not lazy man's work right here. This is real man's work right here. Y lo pongo arriba.
Arriba de la otra.
¿Cómo? ¿Te quita esto?
Sí, pero necesita detener la caja
Acá abajo.
y subirla arriba.
Ya está.
Now what do you think?
It's hard work.
Yeah, I know.
Muy duro. Muy duro. I have a lot of respect for you, Ramon. So, man, tell me a little bit what it means to be responsible for quality control here at the packing shed.
So quality control, as far as us, is making sure that what we give our customers is to their satisfaction. We're not going to send any defects, any certain things that they don't allow, making sure that the right product gets to our customers and we're able to satisfy all the customers through the grocery stores.
Yeah. What has to happen where your lenses are looking on the product before it gets out of here that you know the quality control has taken place?
So there's 3 actual action points. One's going to be the field. Once they bring it in, you got the crew guys out there who are actually looking, picking the right stuff. So that's our first spot. Our second spot's going to be actually the pack line. We are on the line looking, making sure nothing's getting in the box, any type of defects, any bird damage, any certain things that's not supposed to be in the box doesn't allow itself to get into the box. Accidents do happen, and that's our job to make sure they don't. And then the last point of check is actually right before it gets on the truck to the grocery store. So that's where we go into the cold rooms. We're constantly looking at product, making sure nothing's softening up, no condition issues are coming on, and that our customers are satisfied.
So as soon as we receive the product, we wash it, dry it, bring it down right here, and it starts tumbling down. As soon as this fruit starts rolling down, we start getting to the blowers. We let that blow down, dry it up a little bit. Then we go to our Awita machine, which is our defects. And that has so many cameras just flashing at it, and it starts pulling out all the defects, all the small size, all the scarring, all these little things that play a factor that we want pulled out. All of these have little solenoids that computer acts with this rollers right here, and it kicks it off per size, per grade. We come down this way, watch your step. We got our awesome graders right here. So all their job is to do is to look at if they see any defects or anything come out this way, they grab it, they pull it, they throw it down our chutes, and that goes to our juice or our holding, our coal line right there, and it continues rolling on. We have our sticker machine now. No longer do the girls have to sticker the product themselves. It prints out whatever it's a plua, whatever commodity it is. The sticker machine actually prints the label on it, the PLU, and sticks it on the fruit, and it sends it right down. As you can see, the fruit is now stickered. It continues to come down. If you look at the way it's going down, those little solenoids are actually kicking it off, pushing it off into an individual table right down to the ladies. The girls actually do a little bit of their own grading themselves. The fruit comes to them, and they're actually doing 2 boxes. They're doing a #1 box, and they're actually doing an eco box, which is our #2 grade. And that's the stuff where if there's any scars or certain quality issues involved with it, they're actually making that box and separating the 2 and dividing them and pushing them out.
So you want to grab a box 5?
Behind me, this one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
You want to grab one of the stickers right here?
Sticker right here. Okay.
And you are going to put it right here.
Right here.
Right here.
Is there a reason why we have to wear gloves?
Yes, it's organic. You cannot touch it with
So the oil of our
yeah.
hands,
Lotion, whatever, perfume. So you need one of those
black
buns.
ones, put them in.
And you just grab the fruit and check if it's good.
What am I looking for? Just
For cuts,
cuts,
worms,
bruises.
holes.
Like this one has a little cut.
That one passed, that's good.
That's okay.
Just a little bit, not that
These.
much.
Tell me, how long have you been working here?
I just barely turned 2 years here.
2 years?
Yeah, on the 16th of this month.
Wow. Are you
Yeah.
from here?
No, from Hanford.
Hanford.
Yes.
You take the drive every day?
Yes, gotta
Yeah.
drive all the way over here.
So I'm not putting in the right fruit.
No, you're not, but you're doing good. It's your first time.
How do you like working here?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. People here like family, right?
Yeah, I love these women.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marbella would have called you already if you would have sent that box like this.
Your goal is to pack as many as you can within
Yes.
the hour, right?
Yes.
The more you pack, the more money you make.
More money you get.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
There.
just flip it around and then push it in.
Push it into the. That's awesome.
did it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Once they pack the boxes, they actually slide them under the tables. The tables actually have the rollers, and they roll them all the way out. So it continues coming down, continues coming down. If there's ever anything wrong with the size, with the weight, everything, you have an automatic kicker right here. This machine right here is gonna push the box out, send it down there so it does not go on any further, and it has a hold position. This is usually my station right here. I'll grab a couple boxes off the line, grab them, pull them. We'll start looking at fruit, just making sure that certain stuff does not get involved. Once you give it the okay, you go ahead, throw it back out, and continue it coming. All the boxes go down to our stackers down here. They fill them all the way up. For stone fruit, we go up to 80 to 88 boxes per pallet, depending on size. Citrus, it goes down to 54. And as soon as they do it, they take it out, and then we tag them. We have a great tagging lady. Once it goes over those curtains, shipping then pulls the tag off, puts it on the left-hand side, sticks it to that pallet. They redline it in, which redline is a gun that actually you scan the barcode, put it in its destination, whatever row it's in. You put it in that destination, and then you're able to go through the computer database and actually find out where this pallet is located and what row and what tier. They do a fantastic job, and this fast-paced environment, we're keeping up with it.
When this really beautifully complex ecosystem, when everything is packed and ready to go, we don't get to taste that without you, right?
yeah,
You're that vital
yeah.
link that gets it to market.
Yeah, it's that all the logistics of taking the fruit from that point of pack, getting it cooled down properly so it rides properly, gets to the shelf to where the consumer can actually enjoy it. We work with perishable fruit.
Right.
It's fruit that doesn't have, you can't ship it next month. It's got to ship immediately. And so making sure that we have orders from the customers at the time that it's packed and that we've done the estimating in the fields correctly so that we take all of that fruit that the grower has worked all year to put in place, and we utilize all of it.
Yeah, see, that's a really good point. I think a lot of us don't understand that not all fruit is that perfectly pristine looking thing. And you've got a home for those. You've got a home for that imperfect fruit, right?
Right, yeah. We've worked really hard over the last 5 years, especially in the organic arena, to find homes for fruit that maybe doesn't fit the standard what you would see on the normal grocery shelf. It still eats well, still really good fruit, tastes great, but it may be a little misshapen, may have a scar on it, something a little bit that doesn't make it look quite as pretty.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that's really interesting for me in traveling all over the world is how we as Americans eat with our eyes, right? We look at that beautiful, perfect piece of fruit and we miss out on so many different varieties, right? Will you educate us on why we should not be eating with our eyes all the time?
You know, so many times, it's like our nectarines. They have what they call russeting or sugar spots on them, and it looks like a speckle on the end of the fruit. A lot of times that's looked at as a downgraded product, but we as growers, as farmers, we know that that's some of the best eating product.
Yeah, right.
And so you can't shop with your eyes. And we've been trained over and over again through retail to shop with our eyes, to look for that perfect piece of fruit. And that's not what defines a good piece of fruit.
Right.
Plus, it's a matter too for the grower for sustainability. You know, him to be able to continue farming organically. If you take 20% of the product that he grows and it really just goes to the cattle farm for feed, where he really gets no return on it whatsoever, that's a lot of fruit that he grew for no purpose.
Educate me a little bit on the organic itself. Chemicals are used, but they're certified, correct?
Yeah,
and they're things that are ecologically sound?
Things that are naturally occurring,
Okay.
right? Things that are a part of the environment as is. And so, you know, for some of the insect pressure, we'll use oil. You know, just different types of fine oils to help suffocate the insects in a sense. And so, but there's, you know, all of those have to be managed properly. You know, there's different flower type essences that we'll use in different situations, but it's a complex situation when you're dealing with a complex system, right? The hard thing with organic is that it's hard to scale.
Yeah.
Because it's so detail oriented.
San Francisco is an incredible food culture. It's kind of a home of the organic trade. And we love what we do. We're impassioned. The organic customer is very, very interested in anything local. And that also means they prefer to buy California over anything outside of California, even if it's lower priced outside of California. They're very clued in to what is local, what they want, and why they want it. People are interested in what is the source? Where is my food coming from? Who's the grower? I want to shake their hand. I want to talk to them. This is our receiving bay. So we're 30,000 square feet. A couple key things about produce is that there's an urgency about it. You know, on the grower side, on our side, and everybody's side. Because everything that's coming in here is dying. It is off the life force. So we're an emergency hospital. Bingo, we're getting in here, boom. You know, our job is to get it out here. So receive it, properly label it, properly store it, properly rotate it, properly ship it. Our job, we like to say, we want to make the grower a rock star, because we're not just selling cucumbers or zucchini or peaches or nectarines. They're somebody's. They're a particular grower or a wholesaler that we can champion, and people get to know them and appreciate them. And so it's that brand name identification. They're going to come in and go, so where are those homegrown nectarines, those Honeycrisp? And so Homegrown knows that. So it's to their credit to keep that quality really at a high level, so you get that recurring customer. That's what we all want. Information is key, because we're all in the business of anticipation. You know, when is that harvest going to happen on that row of firecrest nectarines? When can we expect them in relationship to all the other growers we're working with and all the other products? So the relationship is everything. And that is really the basis of everything we're doing, whether it's on the grower side, on our user sides, or individually. It's all about relationship. We're so keyed in to the grower and what they're doing and what we're doing in the end, and knowing all those things and having that play we love it, and we live for this stuff, just like Chow does. Sam and his brother Tony, you know, they're totally embedded in what they're doing, and that is reflected by how they do it. You know, we're excited about what we're doing. We have some of the best produce in the world.
Your lot is really to look for freshness and the best quality organic produce and fruits from all over California. I mean, what are you looking for in terms of creating distinction for your products here?
Well, it takes a long time to become familiar with what's in season when, and you know, and weather changes, so things change, which I love that dynamic. But because I've been doing this a long time and have association with great distributors and go to farmers markets, Earl's, you know, is on the tip of what's available locally. That's their side of it. So I rely heavily on, you know, calling them, what's coming up. We do our menu rewrite every 6 weeks.
And you know, one of the things that I love about your family background is that produce and freshness and eating well is sort of in your DNA, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, my father had a market in Detroit at the Eastern Farmers Market, and me and my brother from an early age would go and work there summers and weekends during school. And he would rent out different stalls like produce and meats and flowers. So we basically got our education, you know, with him. We're Italians, we have food. My mother cooked every day. I mean, it's like such a central part of our life.
Most of us think that really good, elevated comfort food is expensive, and you're trying to change that a little bit, aren't you?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's been a long process. I mean, I've been involved with this since mid-70s. For us, using premium food in our restaurant, the way that we're doing that and the way that my brother's committed to with me and our team is no loss. As long as we're using all of this food somewhere, we make everything. We make sauces, we make dressings, we make jams, salads. You know, all this food has a flow through this company.
Explain the no-loss concept a little bit. It's just a continued delineation of the product, right, into different aspects of the culinary world.
Yeah, well, you know, we do banana pie, muffins, bread, smoothies, you know, just an example. You have to key into certain really perishable items. So me with the chefs, with Tony, with the rest of the team also, you have to make sure that that flow is happening. That's a big part of our jobs. is to manage that flow so nothing hits the trash. It all gets used, it all comes in fine shape. That's part of my job as a buyer. It's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the right thing to do. No one wants to waste food, so it's our job to figure out the system internally how to do that here. And that's what we pride ourselves on, and that's what we work hard to do.
Tell me a little bit about the really vital relationship between Chow and Earl's Organics and your mission to feed people on a higher level.
Yeah. We can handle this piece, which is, we're the chefs, I'm the marketeer, buyer, but Earl's and they're involved with connecting to the farms. And that's how the flow has to work. I mean, you have to rely on somebody who really knows what they're doing, has integrity, you trust their judgment.
What's the higher good of what you do every day?
I mean, we're blessed. We're in paradise for food. I mean, we are absolutely, you name it, not just produce, every aspect of food. And we have a community here that is conscious, is making that decision. It's the perfect job to me because it's like, just feeding people, but feeding people really good food and trying to keep doing it better every day,
Can you tell me as a chef, what do you look for in a particular nectarine or a peach?
So when it comes in, obviously, even coloring, we want it to be just a little bit of give to it when you kind of squeeze it. And the fragrance is all about it. If you can smell it, it's gonna be tasty.
Does it matter to you where these products come from?
It totally does. I mean, why would I want to, ship things from way out of state when you can get it in your backyard? It makes so much more sense. Supporting the community that supports you.
A farmer's market, a restaurant, a bar, sort of all in one ecosystem. Where did that idea come from for you? What was your vision behind it?
Well, it's all I've ever done my whole life. Sam too is we've fed people for over 50 years. I mean, yeah, it just came from that. I mean, we were raised in an Italian household too, and the stuff is going down at the kitchen table, man. Like life is happening, and it's been our livelihoods, and we feel blessed by that. It's extraordinarily complicated. I passed through being a chef, and that's kind of the anchor of Chow. It's a chef-driven concept. And because of that, that allowed us to be able to go fishing with this market thing that we did in Lafayette about, 13 or 14 years ago, see whether or not we liked it, and it worked. And if our intuition was correct, that it was something worth trying, and it turned out to work out extraordinarily well. So that's what this place is after, knowing what we've wanted to do for, it's been like 24 years now, we had to work our way towards earning the opportunity to do it, and we finally got it open. We don't waste a stitch here. We've got a kitchen, and a kitchen is the ultimate neighbor to a market, and obviously to a cafe. Synergistic. If we have a peach that needs to be used, or an avocado, or anything that's prime, we're not just ditching it like stores do. In the back bins of stores, they throw away so much food, so much. It's criminal. It's not what anybody ever intended regarding getting their food to the general public, but stores don't have the capacity to be able to be nimble enough to deal with it. And that's what our concept does here, is it eliminates the waste component. Therefore, we're able to offer affordable organic food, which is what we're trying to do. And it's the same thing with families and the general public here, is we're trying to make that connection is that it's within everybody's means. And we do that through eliminating waste and other things that we can do because we're chef-driven market, and we have the ability to react to things and use everything and turn it into delicious stuff constantly. None of it goes into the bin.
Do you ever think about the extension of the farmer that you are? You think about the ag industry and just the relationships and the partnerships that it takes to get food to our mouths, right?
It's an honor, and it's something that needs to be seen through and respected and honored all the way through. That's why I feel so strongly about waste. Is there was no farmer that intended that all that hard work and all of that battling with weather and everything that it took to get the product to the point of it being potentially enjoyed, and that it would be abused. And so I regard that as very important, is that they're entrusting us with something sacred. And it's our responsibility to make sure that it's not abused. It's not just mishandled or looked at lightly or thrown away. Or its intentions are, as hard as it is, for it to follow its course all the way through into somebody celebrating it or being nourished by it, and that cycle is perpetuated.
I think about, you know, how much of your dad's soul is in this business with you. You get to work with Sam every day, brothers together. You employ so many people. You've got this great vibe and energy going on. What are you most proud of?
We're trying to feed people well here and make that as fair and equitable as possible and beautiful and all that. But I'm proud of that. We're working on something that's a cause worth fighting for. People have the right to eat well. It is a celebration that we all should be afforded or allowed to participate in, like a beautiful sunset or like clean air or swimming in a pretty body of water. Food is very central to the celebration of life, and that's what we work on, and we do our very best to share, you know, the bounties of Mother Nature, man.